brought to you by Ford. So here for the White Sox, Elvis Andrus leading off the second baseman, followed by Romy Gonzalez, Andrew Vaughn, 1, 2, 3. Middle of the order, Gavin Sheets, Sebi Zavala, the number 2 ranked prospect, Oxacolas, hitting 6, 7, 8, 9. Moises Castillo, DJ Gladney, and Wes Kath.
The starting pitcher for the Cubs is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. We were just talking about him, Drew Smiley. Talked about that curve and cutter in particular, but you can see there most of the curve also has that sink fastball and the cutter. Looked good last year, 7.8, 3.47, especially second half for him. Last year, a 2.83 ERA, 11 games.
Hey, it was great.
Oh, we're going around. This is me.
Yeah,
the defensive center for the
on.
Cubs is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm still going to go left to right. In the outfield, we have Owen Casey, PCA, Kevin Alcantara. In the infield, Nick Madrigal, Luis Vasquez, Chase Strumpf, BJ Murray. Behind the plate, Tucker Barnhart.
You look at the numbers on the back of the jerseys. We have 2 number 1s. We have 2 number 98s. Cactus League play at its finest. Here's Elvis Andrus. This spring, 9 for 41. Normally a shortstop, will play predominantly second base for the White Sox. Here's the first pitch, and it's popped up right side, fouling out of play. At least we are underway.
I think this will be really fun to not just see Smiley make his last start, but the defense as we saw behind him. We talked about it, a lot of the Cubs' top prospects and some that you could see pretty soon at Wrigley. In particular, the first one that comes to mind is PCA.
You look at that outfield. Kevin Alcantara, Pete Crow Armstrong, Owen Casey. 20 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Smiley. Count 1-2, and you have PCA as the number 1 ranked prospect, Kevin Alcantara as the number 2 ranked prospect, and Owen Casey, the number 13 ranked prospect. And in my opinion, that might go up a little bit.
With Owen Casey, you're saying? Yeah, he had a good showing.
Well, he can't really go up from Pete Crow Armstrong being number 1. And it's tough for Evan Alcantara to go for number 2, but yes, Owen Casey up from 13.
Had a good showing in Team Canada, the WBC.
Chopped over to Luis Vasquez, over to first, 1 away. Bring up Romy Gonzalez. You know, Owen Casey hit a home run for Team Canada at Chase Field that might not have even landed yet.
Yeah. It was really cool and nice to see his offense on that stage. And I say his offense in particular because that's mostly what you hear about with him and his development. So to get to see it in that competitive environment.
Pitch misses up high, count 1-0.
That was part of the exciting part with the whole thing. Really,
He's one of the youngest players in the WBC.
Yeah.
He was 20. 1-0 offering. That's Sky, left center field. PCA races back at the wall. It's gone. Romy Gonzalez having a nice 24 hours here at Sloan Park. Home run in the 9th inning yesterday, and a solo home run in the first inning today. It's 1-0 White Sox here with the first.
We saw the first out, the ground ball that's more what Smiley is used to and can induce, but here, just a pitch up in the zone. Gonzalez gets a hold of it. It's just, you know, fastball that's left up that Gonzalez jumps on it. When that happens, just take advantage. I think PCA, if he could run up and scale that wall, he would have to try to catch it. That's just kind of the competitive fire in him.
Tried to pull a Griffey. 1 ball, no strikes to Andrew Vaughn. Vaughn swings through an off-speed pitch. Andrew Vaughn this spring hitting .324. He's a big X factor on this White Sox team. Pitch misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. No Jose Abreu, so they're looking to fill that void. And Andrew Vaughn, top draft pick, draws high praise in MLB circles. Pitch misses inside. 1 out here in the first. Romy Gonzalez just went yard. Here's the 3-1. Outside corner called strike at 76 miles per hour. Drew Smiley, predominantly a 3-pitch pitcher, sinker, curveball, cutter. 3-2. Hard hit ground ball to second. Chase Strumpf over to first, 2 away. We have 2 ground balls, 1 long fly ball, 2 away, and it'll bring up Gavin Sheets. And Elise, you were talking about it, inducing a lot of ground balls, lots of first pitch strikes, lots of curveballs. That's the scouting report for Drew Smyly.
Yeah, usually, I mean, even talking to him, I was chatting with him yesterday, and what led to this conversation was that I was asking him actually about the pitch comp. Because we see pitchers using that now this season. And because my game plan's simple, only 3 pitches, so it's not too complicated. So we see a line drive there for Sheets. And, that's kind of him in a nutshell, right? Just keeps it simple. All about location, command for him.
Drew Smyly, 33 years old, from Little Rock, Arkansas. Here's Sebi Zavala. 5 home runs this spring. Smyly delivers. Take it down the middle for a strike. Down 0-1. Sinking fastball from Drew Smyly. Averages 92.6 miles per hour, and that one at midseason form at 92. 0-1. That's clubbed right field. Kevin Alcantara makes the catch, and that ends the inning. White Sox score a run on a Romy Gonzalez home run. It's 1-0 White Sox. We'll go to the bottom. It's probably not worth drinking. Nick Madrigal, Tucker Barnhart, Pete Crow Armstrong, 1, 2, 3. Kevin Alcantara, Owen Casey, and Miguel Amaya making his Cactus League debut, hitting 6th. Chase Strumpf, B.J. Murray, and Luis Vasquez rounding out the Cubs order. That is Miguel Amaya making his 2023 Cactus League debut. Here's Nick Madrigal against Michael Kopech. And the first pitch pounds the outside corner for a strike. Count 0-1.
So starting pitcher today for the White Sox. It's brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. You have Michael Kopech. Pretty much the opposite of what you're going to see from Drew Smyly. Kopech, power pitcher. Madrigal flares that one to right center.
Love the play-by-play, Elise.
I'm just going to take over.
Put it on the resume.
Let's got to build the real, Alex. Let's take another look. Madrigal, like I said, so you see a fastball. That's what Kopech's really going to rely on. And Madrigal just does a nice job, short to the ball. Probably some familiarity there with Kopech. Gets on base.
Here's Tucker Barnhart. Michael Kopech, when he broke into the bigs, known for his hard fastball. Pitch misses up high. Count 1-0. Kopech was touted triple digits, at least high 90s, and the fastball here has been 90 to 93. That one at 90, the one to Madrigal at 92. 1-0. Outside corner called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tucker Barnhart, 5 for 29 this spring. No homers. He did have a home run in the exhibition game against Team Canada here at Sloan Park. 1-1. Line drive, 1 hopper, snagged by Andrews to second for 1, over to first, a double play. How about that experience from Elvis Andrews?
Smooth by Andrews to let that one drop.
He's done that a time or 2 before.
Because Madrigal's thinking that he's going to get this on the liner. Instead, Andrews lets it drop just before. Good hands, too, on the short hop. Instead, gets the double play.
So 4-6-3 double play. 2 outs here in the first. It brings up the top prospect of the Cubs system, Pete Crow Armstrong. First pitch. Oh, this is inside. Look out. 1 ball, no strikes. And I know it's the last Cactus League game, but seeing Michael Kopech on the mound, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kevin Alcantara, Owen Casey, the next 3 hitters up, that's a pretty big deal. It's fun to watch from a viewer standpoint because you see PCA 21, Kevin Alcantara 20, Owen Casey 20. That's how old they are. And against a starter like Michael Kopech, as PCA lines that one foul out of play. Count 1-2. I'm excited. It's a fun game. Fun
Great
lineup.
Experience. I mean, that's what all of this is about. You gain the knowledge from every at bat. The confidence, too.
1-2 misses outside. Count 2-2.
We have our defensive setup for the White Sox. This is brought to you by UI Health. I was ready to mix it up, Alex, and I just can't do it. All right, from left to right, Gladney, Colas, Gonzalez in the outfield. We'll go back to it.
PCA fouls that right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You're back.
I'm back. Cap, Castillo, Andrews, Vaughn, and Zavala behind the plate.
He went left to right.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I mean, you should just do up the middle, then spray the sides.
I like confuse myself doing that. I was trying to keep it simple.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch by Michael Kopech. It ends the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. After 1-0 White Sox over the Cubs. You're watching Cubs baseball here at Marquee Sports Network. It's Brozdowski down in the dugouts. Lance, how we doing?
I'm fantastic, Alex. Last game of spring. It's gone really, really quick. Fangraphs, so ball in play already. Smiley with the PFP work. Oh, we got him.
You might take a little look at this. Colas thinks he's safe. Nice play by Drew Smiley. As of right now, a 1-3 put out. And Colas will take a trot back to the dugout. Let's take a look.
Okay, so as Lance was taking over your job,
I mean, I could just stay silent all day.
I think he got him. Hold on. Do we get another?
It's
oh,
close.
I know it's spring. I just wanted more looks.
Here's Moises Castillo. Lance, Drew Smiley on the mound for his last spring training start.
Absolutely. So Fangraphs has some new metrics that allow us to kind of quickly understand how a pitcher succeeds, whether it be their strengths or their weaknesses. And this is known as Stuff Plus and Location Plus, which is really cool. So Stuff Plus is just the combination of release height, velocity of the pitch, and the movement of the pitch, whereas the location is how often that pitcher is putting it in the optimal spot. And you could take a pitcher like Drew Smiley, look at his 2022 statistics, and see the Stuff Plus on the knuckle curve is really good. The fastball and the cutter don't really grade up particularly well, partially because he doesn't really throw too hard or really have any outlier movement.
Appreciate it, Lance. Luis Vasquez nearly made the play of spring training, climbing the ladder there on a single by Moises Castillo. One away here in the second. Runner at first will bring up DJ Gladney. I love when we can get into Fangraphs talk and Lance can explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old trying to understand it. And yeah, Lance does great work. We'll talk to him all day about data and prospects and everything like that. That's smoked out to left field. DJ Gladney dents the wall and left. It's a base hit for the White Sox. Castillo routes third. Will try to score. Here's the relay throw. They got him. Owen Casey to Luis Vasquez to Tucker Barnhart. That was pretty. Still a 1-0 game. DJ Gladney at second with a double.
Perfectly executed, and these are players who are not always playing together, but they just do a nice job of executing the fundamentals. As you said, Alex, this one just straight off the wall, hit really hard, but Casey plays it well off the fence. Nice relay, perfect throw.
That really is
That's
a perfect
textbook.
throw. One hopper. Tucker Barnhart didn't even have to frame it.
Always keeping it low on the relays. Well done.
And Elise Menaker special there. You can do that, right? You play third.
I played third. Yeah. I didn't really take any.
Strong arm
relays.
from the
Sure.
hot corner. Here's Wes Kath. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Now, Luis Vasquez, that relay throw, and you talk about shortstops in the Cubs system, and Luis Vasquez, he's known as one of the best defenders of any minor leaguer. A 1. That's drilled right field. Alcantara back into the gap, and he makes the sliding catch. Nice play by the Jaguar. Ends the inning. And with that, we'll take a break.
Your challenges.
Thanks, Boog and Joe. That was our new manager challenge brought to you by Sloan, water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs. That was Boog and Joe Girardi. GQ Joe. Kevin Alcantara
like the
up.
shades, yeah.
No, he was posing, modeling out by the dugout, sporting the Marquee Sports Network logo. I think GQ Joe's got a nice ring to it.
It does.
2-0. Contra lides it foul out of play. Count 2-1. Alex Cohen, Elise Menaker, Lance Brozdowski down in the dugout. That's our reporter for today. 1-0 White Sox lead. Kopech delivers. Foul back at the screen behind home plate, and
Alcantara just made a nice play out in right field, and you talk about, you were listing them, the top prospects. Alcantara is right up there, and you could just look at him in part and see why with his size.
2-2. Just misses outside. Kopech wanted it. Count 3-2. 6'6", 188 pounds, 87th overall prospect. Major League Baseball, 15 homers, 6 triples last year. 3-2. Hard hit ground ball. Nice play by Castillo. Fires over to first and gets Alcantara. Hard contact, a hard out. That'll bring up Owen Casey. I like that at bat.
I was just going to say the same thing. I did. He looked at a couple of sliders, then he was on some of the fastballs, and he made some hard contact there just on the ground. But I thought that was a very solid at bat for his first one against Kopech.
Here's Owen Casey. First pitch. This is up high, count 1-0. I'll put my name on this. My prediction for Cubs minor league player of the year in 2023, Owen Casey. That's knocked foul off the glove of Sebi Zavala. He's the 13th ranked prospect in the organization. He's listed at 6'3". He looks taller. He's listed at 195 pounds. He looks bigger. Turning 21 in July. 1-1. Popped up. Shallow left. Castillo, Gladney right next to each other, and the shortstop makes the catch. 2 away, I'll bring up Miguel Amaya. The next great Cubs team starts here. Be there at Wrigley Field to experience every moment, starting with opening day. Purchase tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. First 2023 Cactus League at bat for Miguel Amaya. First pitch misses outside, count 1-0. So you look at Miguel Amaya as the number 15th ranked prospect. That's a little bit misleading. He's played 63 total games in the last 2 years. Banged up, 1-0. Ooh, hit him. Don't want that. He's okay. He'll walk down to first. He removes his padding.
Because one of the reasons you're talking about the games that he's played, it has to do with injuries. So when you see him get hit by a pitch, here, ooh.
Yeah, cringe. He's okay. But Miguel Amaya said it's misleading because in 2021, coming into the year, number 3 ranked prospect, 2019, he was the top prospect in the Cubs system. 2 words, stay healthy. First pitch at Chase Strump. This is inside, count 1-0. Strump, the number 25 ranked prospect in the system. Spent last year at AA Tennessee. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. What surprised me about Strump, I hadn't seen him in person until last year, or excuse me, this year, last week.
Last spring.
He's big. Yeah. He's a big guy.
I like his game overall. His defense, his bat.
Played at UCLA. 1-1 to Strump. Outside corner called strike. Count 1-2. You could see why he's ranked as one of the top 30 prospects in the organization. Well built. He can play both middle infield positions and third.
Yeah, that's where I remember him last spring at third base. Thought he had a good arm, good feet. Which a lot of the times you don't think of at third, but especially now with the lack of shift, you're gonna have to cover more ground because it's just, more traditional, if you will. It's, baseball, but not really what's been
he's not playing a shallow left field
right.
or in the hole.
Or put where you think the ball will be hit so you don't have to move as much.
So we have a warning there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1-0 Cubs trail. Bottom 2. Kopech to Strump. The pitch. Just misses outside. 83-mile-per-hour slider, and he's been close on a couple of those here.
Yeah, slider's not as sweepy as sometimes we see from other pitchers. But it's really nice movement still.
Full count, 2 outs. Runner off, pitch misses outside. Ball 4. Chase Strump, a nice 2-out walk. So Miguel Amaya hit by a pitch. Chase Strump draws a walk. Runners at first and second. And it brings up B.J. Murray Jr.
In his last outing, Kopech said he was kind of dealing with like a sinus issue. It just felt like his fastball command was off because everything's going to work off of that fastball for him. He had 4 walks, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. So here maybe just a chance to regroup for him, especially with this being his last outing of spring, last spring training game. Wow.
The final countdown.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, what's tomorrow? Nope, we're going into
tomorrow's nothing.
Right. But I'm used to just day after day here, right?
Murray late on a fastball, swings and misses, count 0-1. It all starts on Thursday against the Brewers at Wrigley Field. 0-1. Outside corner called strike. Let's go down to Lance with more on B.J. Murray Jr.
All right, we got B.J. Murray in an 0-2 count right here, but he had a 16% walk rate last year between Myrtle Beach and South Bend. That's more than double what the major league average would be. Talked to him down in the AFL. He said that he thinks that approach came from his dad putting tape up behind him on a wall and understanding the strike zone when he was young, which I imagine everyone has some kind of anecdote like that, right? Whether it's some kind of cage behind you or a wall behind you or tape or chalk or whatever you use, but I love how he developed his approach.
My dad never did that. I guess that's why I'm up here and they're down there.
Maybe that's why I didn't walk a lot.
Come on, Dad.
No, that's interesting, and I think the visual approach, nice piece.
Left center field, Kolas back, and that one hops the wall for a base hit. Amaya scores, Struck rounds third. Here's the throw home, not in time. All right, B.J. Murray Jr. 2-out, 2-run double here in the second. Cubs take their first lead of the day. They're up 2-1.
Murray didn't need to worry about taking his walk here. I mean, he has 2 strikes, but just a nice job. This is just a fastball left right over the heart of the plate. Murray sits on it. Get an idea of his pop there. A little short, nice swing to the ball.
Here's Luis Vasquez. That double is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai. Home with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new car. Only at Elgin Hyundai, a member of the Bob Locurcio Auto Group. I really like that swing by B.J. Murray Jr. Just letting the pitch travel a little bit. Left-handed hitter, lacing it into left center field. On a line, one hopping the wall. That's just a pretty swing.
I tell you what, from last year, and this name has, Murray's name has stuck with me since, because when Wade Miley was with the team and he had to go on a rehab assignment, he was with Murray, and I asked him, who's a player who stuck out to you while you were down there? Because we have so many.
Really?
Yeah. Said he's every time I'm down there, he rakes.
That's lofty praise coming from Wade Miley.
So ever since, I'm like, because we had our road to Wrigley, we have all of our minor league games. I'm like, all right, well, let's watch B.J. Murray.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Luis Vasquez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch by Kopech. Ends the second, but the Cubs take the lead. 2-run double by B.J. Murray. We'll go to the third. Cubs 2, White Sox 1. Hashtag next starts here. I met Steve a couple days ago. Great guy and a great picture taker, apparently.
Yeah, I think that does it perfectly for how today is. That picture, it's beautiful.
I love the crowd, and I understand it's a last Cactus League game and fans are coming here, but it's a Tuesday, and a lot of the big league decisions have been made for the roster. It's a phenomenal crowd. Perfect day here in Mesa. Andrews grounds that one to short. Luis Vasquez to first, 1 away. Bring up Romy Gonzalez. Elise, give me your spring training synopsis. You've been down here a couple times. Has anything in particular stuck out to you? Players, mentalities?
I think in general, getting to see the new players with the Cubs team. So most of whom we don't see out here today, but you do have Barnhart behind the plate. Trey Mancini, Eric Hosmer, Cody Bellinger, Dansby Swanson. But I've also liked seeing the prospects play as well.
Gonzalez hops that one to Nick Madrigal, fires over to first. A nice play by Nick.
That's been fun to see. Madrigal over at third.
That was right on cue. That was right on cue.
See how he's adjusting and as he tries it out. I love watching, as former third baseman, anytime a ball goes to him, as someone, because it's new to him, right? And so here he's just trying to learn and play the hops, and he takes that step back. Talked about before in spring how he's had to adjust that arm slot, make it a little higher because he's throwing across the diamond, not making that short throw from second. A lot of times where you can even sling it from there.
Andrew Vaughn, he sends that one to left field. Oh, and Casey's back. He's at the wall. He runs out of room. It's gone. The White Sox contingent like that. Andrew Vaughn, a solo home run. Touches them all. Ties it up at 2 here in the third. For the golfers, Elise, that's a nice lob wedge over the left field wall.
Yeah, it seems that now anytime we're seeing the White Sox hits the ball hard, it's that fastball from Smiley. And this one, we're seeing them just left over the plate. So Vaughn does a nice job turning on it, elevating it.
Andrew Vaughn's a big X factor for the White Sox. If he's good, they might win the Central. They might.
Oh, I think they have a great shot at winning the Central. Injuries, I mean, they had to be one of, if not the hardest hit team by the injuries last year.
Central, I saw the Fangraphs prediction. They had the Twins winning with 83 victories, 79 losses. 1-1. This is outside, count 2-1. And it's a big if you stay healthy, but if you can remain healthy, you can remain healthy, I think the White Sox win that division. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Smiley. Count 2-2.
Well, even today's starter, Michael Kopech, knows the importance of staying healthy.
2-2. Hit on a fastball. Fouls it away.
Even coming into the spring, just a slow progression for him as he was coming back from just a knee. I believe it was like a surgery he had on his meniscus.
Yeah. Now, again, you look at this projected record. Twins 83 and 79, which misses outside, count 3-2, and the White Sox projected at 80 and 82. Between Tim Anderson, getting Andrew Benintendi. It's rolled over to first. Hits up B.J. Murray, recovers, and Smiley can't beat Gavin Sheets to the bag. 2-out base runner, and it'll bring up Seby Zavala. We'll take a look at this.
So this one, Smiley thinks he gets the ground ball that he needs to get out of the inning. It just bounces off Murray. He got in front of it. It seems like he just, you know, the hop. And Drew thinking,
he's going to field it cleanly.
Yeah, I guess.
Take it over to the bag.
I should get over now.
Here's Seby Zavala. Pops it up, foul out of play. You can see Drew's body language saying, my bad. Although I'm not sure if he would have beaten Sheets to the bag anyway.
I was thinking the same thing.
Especially with the way that ball caromed off of B.J. Murray.
And I do think he probably thought Murray has it cleanly, he just takes it himself and doesn't need to get over there.
I don't know if it beats him there. 0-1. This is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top 3, 2-2. White Sox Cubs yesterday ended in a 6-6 tie. So the combined score in, what, about 12 innings? 8-8. Smiley, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. I was walking into the Sloan Park facility today and saw a player signing autographs. The player dropped his coffee, so I picked it up. I said, yeah, do you want it? It was Drew Smiley. You don't see many pitchers signing autographs on the day that they're starting. Zavala lines that one into right field. It's a base hit. Contra cuts it off. Going from first to third is Gavin Sheets, and now White Sox have runners at first and third. 2 outs, and it'll bring up Oscar Colas. But at least you know that starting pitchers have their own routines on days that they start. Laser focus.
Yeah,
Do not talk to me.
Smiley in general is very laid back, very nice guy.
Well, I was surprised to see that it was Smiley. I look over, I apologize. I didn't know it was you. I was like, it's cool. Don't worry about it.
Why? Because otherwise you'd be like, oh, never mind. Yeah. You get your coffee.
Normal players, you get it yourself. Starting pitchers, I'll do whatever you need. Oscar Colas, .258 hitter this spring. 3 homers, number 2 ranked prospect in the organization. Here's the pitch. This is outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, right now just that fastball for Smiley. We saw a really good curve against Zavala, but then he hit the fastball on this one here. It seems like we talked about, as Lance even touched on the location for Smiley and how important that is for him.
2-0. This is up high. 3 balls and no strikes. Colas, the next wave of talent for the White Sox in the outfield. You had Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez. Now Colas. 3-0. Taking at the knees for a strike. Bruce Smiley penciled into the Cubs starting rotation. It's been finalized this week. 3-1. Just misses outside, ball 4, and the bases now loaded for the White Sox are Moises Castillo. Yeah, we've talked about the rotation over the last couple days at least, but just putting it all together. Marcus Stroman, opening day starter, but the last 2 days coming into today, Justin Steele, 6 scoreless. Jamison Tyone, 5 scoreless.
No walks all
0
spring for him.
No free
that
passes.
Really impressed me, yeah. But I asked Smiley about Wesneski, who you were getting to, is now, we know, part of the rotation, the 5th starter. Because how exciting. I mean, Wesneski earned it too, with the numbers, just the way he pitched overall this spring. And that's exactly what Smiley said, that Wesneski earned it. Just a really good pitcher overall, mature for his age. When you talk to Wesneski, the way he carries himself, the way he knows his game. He said he asked a lot of questions, Smiley said about Wesneski. Said sometimes where you're like, okay, I mean, give me a second. What? But he meant that in the best way. Because that's what makes Wesneski him and makes him successful.
That's what makes him tick. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And for more on the starting pitchers, Lance, what's up?
Yeah, so Drew Smiley, we were talking a little bit earlier about location. Elise, you kind of alluded to it. He is a location pitcher over a stuff pitcher. And what that means from my perspective is that when he's leaving pitches over the middle of the plate, his raw stuff, so the movement of the pitch, how it's released, and the velocity of it, doesn't really have the ability to beat hitters, so to speak. So he has to rely on that location.
That wild pitch allows Gavin Sheets to score. 2-out rally here for the White Sox. They lead 3-2. Runners advance. Zavala to third. Colas to second. And a 1-2 count for Moises Castillo. But if you take a look at the replay, just got away from Tucker Barnhart. Got his body in front of it, but sometimes with the spin, just doesn't work in your favor. And it didn't work in their favor. Smiley. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice off-speed pitch from Drew Smiley. Strikes out Moises Castillo. Ends the inning. White Sox score a pair of runs. They take a 3-2 lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. White Sox 3, Cubs 2, right here on Marquee Sports Network. Armstrong, 21 years old. Traded from the Mets to the Cubs. The deal that netted the Mets. Javier Baez throw back to first, not in time. And Kopech says, I saw you. I know you got your good jump. He can fly. He can flat out fly. Kopech. 0-2. Taken low, and Pete Crow Armstrong is safe. They're going to say Kevin Alcantara went around. Strike three. I thought it was a check swing. That's why I'm not an umpire. It ends the inning. Pete Crow Armstrong stranded. We will go to the fourth. White Sox 3, Cubs 2, right here on Marquee Sports Network.
Dexter Fowler, it's great to see you. We're glad to have you here.
Georgia boy, we can do it. And a lot of people don't know. I started switching when I got the pro ball. I'll never forget it because he goes, tell him you need left-handed bats. And so I was like, okay. And he starts laughing, and I'm like, why are you laughing? Like, I mean, what's going on? And he's like, there's no left-handed bats. All the bats are the same. And I was like, let's not tell anybody about this. I need some left-handed bats. He got me.
Join Cole Wright, Cliff Floyd, Dexter Fowler, and more for a 2-hour opening day special of Cubs Live, presented by Toyota.
It is opening day, so let's welcome you in.
Join us for in-depth analysis as we get you ready for the game and preview the 2023 season.
It's something he said he's been anticipating since the day he signed.
Don't miss it. Cubs Live, presented by Toyota, Thursday at 11 a.m., only on Marquee Sports Network.
Go Cubs, go!
Chicago Hounds Rugby on Marquee is brought to you by the Bob Lucurcio Auto Group. Watch the Chicago Hounds all season long. For the full schedule, visit MarqueeSportsNetwork.com.
All right, Cubs fans, opening day 2023 is finally here, so without further ado,
come on, let's go.
Get these over to JD.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog!
Cole Wright, Cliff Floyd, Dexter Fowler, and more get you ready for the season with the 2023 season preview special presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's tomorrow at 6 right here on Marquee Sports Network.
Elise
Season is here.
2 for 2 with promos.
Thank you.
With a couple bomb skis. Here's Drew Smiley to DJ Gladney. He's taken down the middle for a strike. Count 0-1. Alex Cohen, Elise Menaker, Lance Brozdowski on the call for the final Cactus League game. Here in 2023, 0-1. Popped up foul out of play. Connell with 2. Cubs 16, 12, and 2. White Sox 12, 13, and 3. Cubs and the White Sox play each other a couple times this season. Pitch cut up, miss, strike 3. Nice pitch by Drew Smiley. Tucker Barnhart fires down to first, 1 away.
We were just hearing from Tommy Hotovy and just wanting to see, a little bit sharper, better location on the curve, the fastball, and there the curveball. Just a nice job.
So DJ Gladney strikes out, and Pete Crow Armstrong will give a fan a towel from the berm.
They dropped their flag.
It's not even a towel, it's a Chicago flag. The berm is the place to be. Now, Lisa, if you were here as a fan, where would you want to sit? Stands, berm?
Berm. Yeah. Get a towel out, lay on the towel, enjoy the game.
Catch some rays.
Just like all of those people, yes.
Take a nap.
I'm with them. Yeah, all the above.
What up? Line right field, Alcantara in. A slide, he trapped it. Nice effort by Kevin Alcantara. Wes Cat, 18th ranked prospect in the White Sox system. 1-out single here in the 4th.
This is why these games are fun, because you're getting a glimpse. We saw a great play from Alcantara earlier in the game, and this one kind of takes a little circuitous route to it. I'm not sure. Maybe if he was straight onto it, just a little bit better route, would have caught it. But like you said, really good hands, good trap. That goes by him.
Starting the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
First pitch to Nate Mondu, misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Who knows with the sun? You know, maybe that's the only way he can see it out there.
I mean,
going
it's
that
also
way to
that,
the ball.
but the way that the ball knuckled down, just the spin.
Yeah.
Mondu fouls that one away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spring training, at least, is a marathon. It starts in the middle of February. They're out here 6 weeks, and it's not like the regular season where you have off days and the team is on the road. They are here every day. And the split squad games, I mean, these are 12, 14-hour days for the production staff, coaching staff. It's a lot. Have to give a shout out to all those that are here, have been here all spring. Scotty Shaggs, who's been here since the Super Bowl. Started it off with the Chiefs winning and finishing it off with hopefully the Cubs winning today.
So Barnhart goes out and has a talk with Smiley because here this is just a curveball that's left over too much of the plate. So Gonzalez sits back because especially when you're not as tight with that location, you haven't been hitting it as often. When it's there for the hitters, then they capitalize. These Sox hitters right now, they're capitalizing on it when it's in the zone. Up to score another run.
Yeah, 5 runs, 9 hits here for the White Sox against Drew Smiley. Here's Andrew Vaughn. Pitch misses inside. Count 1-0. Vaughn. Lob wedge over the left field wall. His last at bat. Second Cactus League home run. 1-0. And right field. Base hit for Andrew Vaughn. Gonzalez moves station to station. It's now 3 consecutive hits for the White Sox. Kath, Mondu, Gonzalez make that 4 straight hits because Andrew Vaughn just contributed with a single. Hard hit balls here. White Sox will start their series against the Houston Astros with some new jewelry after their 2022 season. The Sheets has popped up left side. Out of play. Count 0-1. At least when you look at the major league schedule and look at the teams, well, we know the Astros are good. You know the Dodgers are good. Who is one team that might be on the surface of good to elite or mediocre to good? Who do you think is going to really step out of the box this year and surprise some people?
Well, we saw a little bit of it last year, but you have the Mariners. Julio Rodriguez.
He's exciting.
I think still keep an eye on the Orioles. They talk about prospects. A lot of theirs now with look at a full year. Most notably Adley Rutschman.
He's good.
Very good.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about Bobby Witt Jr. His number 2 overall pick
Royals,
and why he would be number 2, not number 1. Oh, okay, because Adley Rutschman was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Because I couldn't remember what pick he was. I'm like, he had to be 1. Oh, Adley, okay.
1-2. This is up high. Count 2-2. I like the Orioles there. I do respect that team, and I respect the call there. It's just they're a tough division.
Very tough division. Just when you're talking about, a team that, when you're saying, maybe not as obvious. I mean, you could look at the NL East. Let's talk about,
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Those 3 teams there, like you're saying. So Smiley comes in here with a good fastball outside, so a good location. Able to get him swinging.
89-mile-per-hour heater. Strikes out Gavin Sheets. 2 away. It'll bring up Sevi Savala. 5-2. White Sox lead the Cubs. Top 4. Pitch to Savala. Swing and a miss. Well, those last 2 pitches, the fastball to end the count, off speed there to begin the count to Sevi Savala, probably 2 of his best pitches today. No earned runs. Cubs beat the Pirates 2-1. There's some PFPs from Drew Smiley. A very nice 2022 campaign. Alex Cohen, Elise Menaker here for the Cactus League finale. Elise was talking a little bit about Drew Smyly, what he's done for the Cubs, how he's looked today. Wanted to finish your thought.
I think in that clip in particular, 11 ground balls. So when he's on, we were talking about those ground balls. And yeah, I think just in general, after we heard from Hottomy, looked a little bit more crisp. At this point, when we had heard from Smyly after his last start, it's not necessarily about the tweaking, trying stuff out at this point, but obviously you want to fine tune and feel good, you know, going into the season. I don't put too much into this still for Smyly. Obviously you want to feel good after this start, but we've seen what he can do.
Here's Owen Casey. One swing and a miss, strike two. Owen Casey, fresh off a trip to the World Baseball Classic with Team Canada. 0-2. This is inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and just that experience for him, being able to watch Freddie Freeman, Tyler O'Neill, 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch by Michael Kopech. 1 up, 1 down here in the 4th, and here's Miguel Amaya. Did you enjoy the World Baseball Classic, Elise?
I did. The energy, the fans in particular, are really, for me, what made it exciting, watching just the environment. I mean, there were great games, but it was like nothing that you see, you know, during the season.
And it wasn't just the final. I mean, USA versus Japan and Ohtani versus Trout. I mean, the Hollywood script angle was great, but it was the other games too. It was Venezuela, Japan. It was USA versus Canada. I was glued. I was absolutely glued to the television. 1-1. This is Sapai. Count 2-1.
I think just seeing too the excitement. I mentioned the fans, but also from the players. Just how proud they were to play for their countries.
1 swing and a miss, strike 2. You ask every single player, and they say, you know what? Injuries happen. It's a shame. And I want to do that. I want that atmosphere in March every year. Well, you're only going to do it every 3 or 4 years, but I saw Marcus Stroman say, we want it every year. And I love that. I love it. I think that's awesome hearing it from them and how
There's good momentum going into the season.
It is. Yeah. It gets people excited for baseball. 2-2 to Amaya. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Michael Kopech finding his stride. 3 consecutive strikeouts dating back to the 3rd will bring up Chase Strumpf. Were you able to make it to any World Baseball Classic games? At least I know there were some games out here.
No, I couldn't. I wish I was able to see one.
Maybe
in person.
Maybe in 2026.
Or like Stroman said, if we do it every year, then I'm going every year.
This pitch to Strumpf is taken down the middle for a strike. Count 0-1, 5-2. White Sox over the Cubs. Bottom 4. Kopech delivers. This is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kopech fires. It's up right side, fouling out of play. Count 1-2. Now some defensive substitutions. Duke Ellis in center field. Tyler Osick doing the catching. Taylor Snyder at first. Mondu at second. 1-2. Cut a miss, strike 3. Michael Kopech strikes out the side in order here in the 4th. And instead of going to a commercial break, we're going to keep it right here. We'll walk you through the new shift restriction rule, and it's brought to you by Sloan, water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs. And now, here's Boog and JD.
Hey everybody, Boog Shambi and Jim DeShays from the Marquee Sports Network. And we're here to talk to you about new rules being implemented during the Major League Baseball season in 2023. We start with shift restriction. That's a biggie. All right, so let's take a look at it. Full screen graphic, go. 2 infielders must be positioned on either side of second base when the pitch is released, and then all 4 infielders have to have both feet within the infield dirt. JD, take us through responsibilities for infielders as it relates to the back edge of the dirt and the grass.
Yeah, so 2 on the left side, 2 on the right side. Everybody's got to be on the dirt. Nobody can start in the outfield. In recent years with advanced shifting, we've seen a lot of plays where guys are out in shallow right field playing almost like a rover position. That's no longer going to be an option. Everybody has to start in the dirt, heels off the grass, in on the dirt. Infield in situations is fine. With the infield pulled in with a man on third base, you can be on the grass. They just don't want guys starting out here in the outfield grass as the pitch is being delivered.
And as far as what constitutes a violation, it's not the center of the base, it's the width of the base. So you can't line up inside the width of the base. Also, you could flip-flop your shortstop and second baseman if you want. But
I didn't really understand that stat and how it factors in until now. So, man, it's a tremendous job. New pitcher for the Cubs. It's Bailey Horn. 33 games last year in the minors, 2.79 ERA, 74 strikeouts, 51 2/3 innings. And the pitch misses up high. Count 2-0. Horn. 2-0. Misses low. Count 3-0. He had a nice play to start off the inning. Horn on the bunt by Duke Ellis. Horn 6'2", 210-pound lefty, 25 years old, out of Auburn. Pitch hits the inside corner for a strike.
I don't know who's taping up their bat.
Yeah?
Oh, is that Miguel Maya? I can't tell.
He's very intent on that bat right now. Miguel Amaya just popped up. Side fouling out of play. We have some defensive substitutions here for the Cubs. Pablo Aliendo doing the catching. Luis Verdugo in for Miguel Amaya, or in for Nick Madrigal at third. That pitch, what offering from Bailey Horn. Hello, locked him up. Moises Castillo down on strikes.
Well, you were just commenting on this pitch. Nice job. The breaking ball right in there. Just buckles Castillo.
That was nasty.
Yeah, when stuff like that happens, sometimes all I want to do is watch too and just enjoy it.
My goodness. It's the
Good job
inside
attacking
corner
the
for a
zone.
strike. Yeah.
Love to see someone come in and just throw strikes, really. It sounds so simple, but sometimes it just isn't.
0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
You gotta like that.
That's 3 in a row. Bailey Horn turning some heads here at Sloan Park. Turning heads, buckling knees. And looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Horn delivers. It's off of Horn's glove and ricochets into left field for a base hit. Luis Vasquez just a smidge frustrated there. Single.
You can't blame Horn on that one because, what was that, his 4th straight curve? Comes in with it. Right back at him, just enough. And just one of those ricochets where, ooh, he would have. I was just gonna say he took the glove and tried to just throw it at it.
That's funny. First pitch to Wes Kath hits the outside corner for a strike. Bailey Horn reached Double-A Tennessee. 58 strikeouts and 41 2/3 innings there. 0-1. This is outside. Fastball at 93. Count 1-1. And said Bailey Horn went to Auburn. If you look at that Cubs pitching staff up in the big leagues, Keegan Thompson also War Eagle. One. Cut on a miss. He looks sharp.
He does. Done a lot of strikes.
Two White Sox lead. White Sox out hitting the Cubs 11-3. Bailey Horn Delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's impressive. Scoreless frame, 2 Ks. Bailey Horn, middle of 5. White Sox 5, Cubs 2. You're watching Cubs baseball here on Marquee Sports Network.
In sports, you have a situation where you're basically a piece, a commodity. So you can basically just be moved to a whole nother town.
Just using the word analytics, I think, really upsets people sometimes.
We can let you know what guys are thinking, and that's what we did.
Simone was heroic on so many levels.
Each time it came as quite a surprise to me, Doug. It really did. I had no idea I was getting traded.
Minor league players don't have a union.
These are people in desperate need, living really tough lives.
Let's keep that conversation going.
First time. It's hit hard right field. Suzuki! Say a nice play. Over in Japan, he won what they call the Golden Glove 5 times.
Marquee Sports Network brings you Cubs Flicks, a new multi-part series featuring never-before-seen home movie film of the Chicago Cubs from the late 1920s through the late 1950s. Travel back in time like never before with this unique look at a long-gone era of Cubs baseball. Catch this never-before-seen footage with the premiere of Cubs Flicks this Thursday, immediately after Cubs post-game coverage.
I'm Brandon Hughes. I'm Jamison Tyone. I'm Hayes Wisniewski. And you're watching Marquee Sports Network.
Holy cow, Bill Curtis here endorsing Harry Carey for mayor of Rush Street. Please remember to vote for Harry during the 25th annual Worldwide Toast to Harry on March 29th. For more information, visit harrycareys.com.
This Saturday, April 1st, the Cubs take on the Brewers at 1:20. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a Cubs picnic blanket presented by Marriott Bonvoy. Purchase tickets at cubs.com/tickets.
Elise, can you be one of the first 10,000 early arriving fans and give me that blanket?
I want a picnic blanket. Be great.
I mean,
for
you
the
did
burn.
you did the read. The least you can do is give me the blanket. It gets cold in Iowa.
I don't have the blanket. I have to be one of the first 10,000 early
but you can.
fans.
I mean, you're definitely not one of the late arriving fans.
That's true.
5-2 Cubs lead. Michael Kopech against B.J. Murray. This is inside. Ball 4. B.J. Murray, after a 2-run double, draws a walk. And Wade Miley's smiling.
Somewhere he's watching.
He's watching us.
Are you
First of all, yes, I am. It's called recall.
Remember what I said?
It's called recall. So Elise said that Wade Miley was very impressed with B.J. Murray, and knowing Wade Miley now, he's watching us and he wants the shout out, and B.J. Murray just drew a walk. Yes, that's drilled right center field to the wall, and it's gone. Luis Vasquez, second Cactus League home run, opposite field, 2-run shot. Cubs are within 1. It's a 5-4 game.
Well, it's our Toyota home run replay. What a nice piece of hitting from Vasquez. This is a fastball that's left up in the zone, but it's a little outside. So what does he do? He goes with it. You gotta hear that pop off the bat. You know, Kopech is coming off an inning where he struck out the side, and here he has a walk and now the home run.
Here's Luis Verdugo. It's taken down the middle for a strike. I'll be honest, I didn't think that was getting out.
I thought it had good pop. I thought I thought
it was on a line. I thought it would hit the wall.
I thought it had a little bit of elevation. I mean, I say that in hindsight, but that was...
You know what? For Luis Vasquez, you had a 2-run opposite field home run off of Michael Kopech in the final spring training game. Little chin music, chin symphony, chin orchestra. Next, Luis Verdugo down. And this is outside. Check swing by Verdugo. I don't care if it's a breaking ball or a fastball. If you get a baseball thrown at you by your head, it'll throw things off kilter a little bit. 2-1, take it down the middle for a strike. Count 2-2. 5-4 game. 2-2 offering. Line up the middle, base hit for Luis Verdugo. That's impressive.
Now a couple of hard hit balls back to back. This one Verdugo just lines right back at Kopech. Talk about the chin music from Verdugo. Close call there for Kopech.
Verdugo goes, anything you could do, I could do better. Screaming shot up the middle. Here's Pablo Aliendo. Pitch. This is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Just by having communication with those in the Cubs minor league system, other broadcasters, media relations staff, rave reviews from Pablo Aliendo, or about Pablo Aliendo. Pitch. It's taken down the middle for a strike. Count 1-1. You talk to the South Bend Cubs, Brendan King, Max Thoma. They love them some Pablo Aliendo. One side. All right, let's go down to Lance. Lance by the dugout.
My favorite nugget from Brendan King and Max Thoma in South Bend is that there's a bunch of kids, obviously, that go to minor league games, and they really, really like Pablo Aliendo who's at the plate right now. So much so that when a couple of them were actually asked who their favorite player on the South Bend Cubs was, Thoma told me that he was expecting Pete Crow Armstrong or Owen Casey or maybe DJ Harris, and all of them said Pablo Aliendo. So if you're wondering if he's a good guy and fans love him, they very much do.
Confirmed. Verified. Thanks so much, Lance. 3 balls, 1 strike. Verdugo at first. Here's the pitch. Side corner called strike. 3-2. 2-run home run for Luis Vasquez earlier in the inning. 3-2 delivery. Cut on a miss, strike 3. Michael Kopech racking up the strikeouts. 3 in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th, 1 away, and looks like that'll bring a meeting to the mound before Pete Crow Armstrong steps to the plate. And counting in my scorebook, at least, I think that's 7 strikeouts for Kopech.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I have.
Great minds think alike.
I hope.
And apparently
that's
can
right.
and apparently can add alike. So Michael Kopech out of the game. It's a pitching change. 5-4. Cubs trail, bottom of the 5th. We'll take a break right here on Marquee Sports Network. Cubs Baseball Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by UI Health, changing medicine for good. By Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. And by Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand.
Holy cow, Bill Curtis here endorsing Harry Carey for mayor of Rush Street. Please remember to vote for Harry during the 25th annual Worldwide Toast to Harry on March 29th. For more information, visit harrycarys.com.
Back here from Sloan Park, the Cubs strongly encourage the use of all public transportation, especially CTA buses and trains, when traveling to Wrigley Field. For all games, the Cubs offer a free bike check located by the Addison Red Line station. For details, visit Cubs.com/transportation. Alex Cohen, Elise Smedeker from Sloan Park. We have a new pitcher. It's Luke Schilling. 15 games in the minors last year, 8.78 ERA, 20 strikeouts, 16 walks. So a true outcome pitcher, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, 13 in the 3rd innings. He replaces Michael Kopech and Elise. Michael Kopech, this is his final tune-up leading up until the regular season. A couple strikeouts. What did you think of his performance
I
today?
thought overall he looked really sharp. I mean, I know he got hit hard there in the last inning, but I thought the fastball and slider looked really good. Coming off an outing where he didn't feel as good, you kind of would think that you really wanted this bounce back game going into the season. And yeah, I just thought he looked really good. They're going to need him in that 5th starter spot, so you like to see it.
Pete Crow Armstrong lines that foul. Out of play, count 0-1. PCA had a bloop single in his last at-bat. Schilling Delivers. Misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You look at that starting outfield for the Cubs today. Pete Crow Armstrong in center. Owen Casey in left. Kevin Alcantara in right. 3 of the top 13 prospects in the Cubs system. The pitch routed sharply down the first base line. Foul. Count 1-2. But they were all acquired via trades. Pete Crow Armstrong dealt from the Mets to the Cubs for Javi Baez. He was drafted 19th overall in 2020, part of that 3-player deal. Javi and Trevor Williams for Pete Crow Armstrong. That's chop foul. Count 1-2, and Kevin Alcantara in the Anthony Rizzo deal. Owen Casey in the Yu Darvish deal. And you give up good players, you have to get good players. And the Cubs got good players, or at least it seems that way.
Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong last year in Myrtle Beach and South Bend hit .312, a .376 on base, and a .520 slug. And Matt Mervis won minor league player of the year, but with Matt's really strong performance, PCA was also in that discussion as well.
And you had some studs in the Cubs minor league system last year. You brought up 3 of them. Throw back to first, not in time, and that's not even including Darius Hill among the Cubs minor league leaders in hits, among minor league baseball's leaders in hits. Jake Slaughter had a big year. Kevin Alcantara had a big year. I mean, it's 2-2. This is inside, and it hits PCA. So Pete Crow Armstrong and Miguel Amaya both hit by pitches today. Verdugo to second. PCA to first. That looked painful. Ooh.
That would just obviously just got away from him.
Might have a welt. Here's Kevin Alcantara.
Nothing PCA could do there.
Can't even get out of the way.
No.
First pitch. Take it down the middle for a strike. Count 0-1. Kevin Alcantara for 2 today. Grounded out sharply to short his first at-bat. Struck out in his second at-bat. 13 Cactus League at-bats this year. And the pitch. This is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We had talked about Pete Crow Armstrong, Kevin Alcantara, and in that conversation you were just mentioning Jake Slaughter as well. And it feels like on Road to Wrigley last year, every time that we were on, it was Jake Slaughter, Jake Slaughter, Jake Slaughter's hitting the ball. And so, well, he's not necessarily a name that you'll always hear about in the prospect rankings. He seems to do damage, at least when Road to Wrigley's on. But no, he puts good contact to the ball.
We'll go down.
So the last.
My bracket has been a unmitigated disaster.
Wasn't everyone's?
I mean, I can only speak from my own personal experience.
Okay.
And mine could have been thrown in the trash about 12 hours after the tip-off of March Madness. You could burn it up, light it on fire. It was horrendous. Here's Owen Casey. First pitch is knocked foul.
I think Owen Casey gets a hold of one here. Got bases loaded. Look at the WBC. We see a pop out and a strikeout. He's due. Just putting it all together for spring. It's all coming together right here.
Here's pitch. Line left field. Base hit. Great call, Lee Smeneker. That'll score 2. Alcantara to third, showing off the speed. And Owen Casey, a go-ahead 2-run single. It's 6-5 Cubs here in the 5th.
Who needs a double steal, a triple steal? When you had Owen Casey at the plate, he'll just do the damage for you. Doing a really nice job just going with this pitch from Schilling. So it's a fastball outside. Casey doesn't try to do too much. You just love to see the swing that goes with it. Try to pull that. It's just going to be a lazy ground ball. Instead, gets a nice line drive to left.
It's not a bombski, but I like that result too.
I do too. You love a good line drive. Just a nice hard hit line drive.
Maya swings through a breaking ball and misses. Count 0-1. Hit by a pitch, run scored. First Cactus League game this year for Miguel Amaya. 0-1. This is inside, count 1-1. We talked about Amaya missing games in 2021, 2022. When he came back last year, finished the season with the Tennessee Smokies, hit some balls hard. Pitch popped up out of play, and was going back and watching some film of those swings. It looked compacted, looked controlled. You could see why he was at one point the top prospect in this organization.
And last year just got to DH because of his injuries, and then he actually got injured again later in the season, so he was coming back from the elbow, and then in August he dislocated his left ring finger, so that kept him out for a little bit. So first of all, you like to see him bat healthy, you like to see him get at bats, then now it's just about getting that consistency and that timing down.
Maya pops one up foul, out of play, count 2-2. There's still just one out. Luis Verdugo singled. Pete Crow Armstrong hit by a pitch. Kevin Alcantara walked. Owen Casey 2-run single. And earlier in the inning, B.J. Murray walked. Luis Vasquez 2-run home run. 2-2. Amaya sends one to deep left field. Gladney's back. Shy of the warning track, he makes the catch. Alcantara tags up and scores. And Miguel Amaya, sacrifice fly. Cubs a 5 spot here in the 5th. Turn a 5-2 deficit into a 7-5 lead. That's a nice at-bat from Miguel Amaya.
Yeah, I was watching, like you were saying, just his bat, the compact swing, staying back on the breaking ball. Then actually when we were talking about Alcantara and he tags up from third, I was watching Lance the long strides. Maybe not going, you know, full go by the end, but you see it.
Back to first and out of time. Yeah, Alcantara was more taking long lunges home.
Right. Just lunging down
just
the line and
stretching.
makes it.
See how many steps he could go from third to home. I'll go with 5. Here's Chase Strumpf at the pitch. And foul out of play. I like this inning for the Cubs. Luis Vasquez 2-run homer. Owen Casey 2-run single. Luis Verdugo a single. Pete Crow Armstrong hit by a pitch. Alcantara walked. They both scored. It's a prospect heavy inning. To Strumpf, and that's roped out to left field. Gladney's back, and he makes a leaping catch. Hard hit ball. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it. Cubs score 5 runs. They take a 7-5 lead, and instead of sending you to a commercial break as we go to the 6th, we'll stay here and talk about the newer, bigger bases for this season. And it's brought to you by Sloan, water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs. Here's Boog and JD.
Hey everybody, Boog Shambi and Jim DeShays from the Marquee Sports Network here to talk to you about new rules being implemented in Major League Baseball in 2023. And we talk now about the bigger bases. So take a look here. The bases have increased in size from 15 square inches to 18 square inches. First, second, and third base have increased. Bigger bases expected to improve player safety and promote an uptick in aggressive base running.
A little extra room for guys to find the base without running into each other basically creates an opportunity for, fewer injuries. The other piece of it, of course, a little bit bigger base shortens, not by a lot, but by a little, the distance between the bases, and that is expected to provide an uptick in stolen bases.
All right, one interesting note, this was the brainchild of the Theo Epstein, Jeff Greenberg, Jed Hoyer group. So now we have bigger bases that kind of look like pizza boxes.
Small pepperoni for me, please.
Is there pizza in there? That's a look right there at the new rules, bigger bases.
Boog, JD, thanks so much. They got me hungry, especially
like
JD, pepperoni pizza. I mean, I like everything, especially pizza.
We like everything. We'll eat anything.
I don't discriminate, but Alex Cohen, Elise Menaker here. Cubs leading 7-5, and just Elise last day of spring training. Picture perfect. Doesn't get much better.
Absolutely perfect today. Yeah, no, this is what you come out to Arizona for and the type of game that you want to watch. As we were just talking about, good at bats from a lot of the Cubs prospects. Last half inning.
Lisa's ready to throw a bullpen.
I am. No,
Golden right arm.
I like holding the baseball as we're talking. JD does it.
He does.
And so if JD does it, I just...
You have to do it. You have to follow suit. Lisa's ready to throw a pen. Maybe she comes in for the 8th. 7-5 Cubs lead. And it's Bailey Horn, I believe, for his second inning of work. And the first pitch is taken down the middle for a strike. It seems like a while ago because Cubs scored 5 runs.
And we were hoping he would come back out because he looked so sharp.
He looked really sharp.
That curveball. And I just want to say this because we just heard from Boog and JD about the bigger bases. Of all of them, that's the one to me that, even when you look out there now, like, if you didn't tell me, I'm not sure. When they're next to each other, the bases.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah, but when you look out at the field, I think that's the one that's just kind of the least impactful. But not that it doesn't mean anything, just when you hear guys talk about the changes.
2-1 fouled away. Count 2-2.
That's when you notice,
difference.
yeah.
I mean, that's sizable. Matters for footwork, double play turns, taking extra bases, stolen bases. Timeout called. No pitch violation. Yeah, I think that the new bases will be a bigger deal, especially early on in the season. 2-2. Between first and second. Goes into right field for a base hit, or at least the hole between first and second. Nate Mondu. Lead off single. Luis Maisis. First at bat of the game. Wearing number 77, stepping in from the left side. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. Strong.
Horn. This is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. I mean, everybody talks about time of game, and I know that we had an hour and 57-minute game 2 days ago where you got to say a total of 8 words.
Right. Best game. My best work.
1-0 foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. And for more on Bailey Horn, here's Lance.
Alex, you know I couldn't get through this sideline roll today without mentioning the word sweeper at least once. Bailey Horn is a sweeper guy. He added this pitch entering last season, so we've heard a lot of guys adding it entering this season. Bailey added it when he came out of the White Sox organization in a trade entering 2022. He also throws the curveball. That's a curveball he was throwing last inning was the pitch I think we were all kind of ogling our eyes at, but lefty, he's thrown a little bit more than that sweeper. You could tell it kind of breaks away, almost like drifts and lifts. That's kind of one of the telltale signs of a sweeper, and it's a really good pitch. And his went from being kind of 85 with 5 inches of horizontal all the way up to 13 inches of horizontal movement, and it only fell about 1 mile per hour. So from a pitch design standpoint, that's a pretty good trade-off, even if there's a little bit of a command drop in the pitch.
We just saw that left-on-left sweeper, as you were saying, Lance. Pitch before last was a fastball, and now it's like a sweeper.
Was in the dirt, throw down to second. It's not in time. Check swing by Luis, did not go around. And a stolen base for Nate Mondu. So runner on second. 3 balls, 2 strikes. What do you say, lifts and drifts? He rhymed. I'm just trying to figure out what the
drifts and horizontal movement.
Lifts and drifts.
13 inches.
Looks like Luis Vasquez will have to get a new glove. I wonder if he actually carries 2 gloves.
Than right-handed hitters. And we can look at this via a stat known as WOBA, which is weighted on base average. It's very nerdy. I totally understand you're probably terrified looking at all these numbers, but really what we're trying to do here is understand some bit of offensive production and weighting plate appearance outcomes a little bit differently than, say, slugging percentage does. And you can see in spring 2023 down there, 340 for lefties is a huge jump relative to the prior 3 seasons. And we've gotten so good as a league at shifting left-handed hitters that we basically stopped giving them plate appearances as a whole. And the Cubs last year were 6th lowest in terms of pitches seen by left-handed hitters. I think that's going to come up a little bit this year. But again, I think some of the peripheral at-bats, guys like Talkman, etc., Matt Mervis potentially, will get a little bit of a boost. And I think the league as a whole, you'll start to see kind of this left-handed hitter revolution, so to speak.
Thanks so much, Lance. Pitch misses outside. WOBA enthusiast.
But I think that was a huge part of it, that was, like Lance said, the expectation with the limited shift, how it would benefit lefties in the pull.
E.J. Murray Jr. pops it up, shallow center, tough play, and a nice catch in center. First out here in the 6th. New pitcher is Austin Werner.
And I feel like, too, with what Lance is talking about, a lot of the focus can be on the lefties, but just truer outcomes. Because I was talking about yesterday, or the other day in the broadcast, how I just love, the hit up the middle and that can be rewarded. And while we may not see that a ton, or as much as you'd think because of the limited shift, because you're still going to have guys shade towards the center, as we kind of see now, but I think the whole point is, as a hitter, you love to know that, you know, what you're kind of almost taught growing up, when you execute it out there, in some way it's rewarded.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at least it's a really good point. I think from the pitching side as well, it's going to be really important to not allow a ton of contact, specifically to left-handed hitters. I think you're going to see teams start to develop maybe different pitch usage scenarios for left-handed hitters so that they're not putting the ball in play as much, maybe going more north-south where you get more swing and miss than like an east-west, which is more of a weak contact approach.
We have so much good data just in this age of baseball, and all information is good information. Pitch to Vasquez. High drive left field. Gladney measures it and makes the catch. 2 away here in the 6th. That'll bring up Luis Verdugo. Welcome to Cubs U. College students can receive special ticket offers for select Cubs games with additional offers throughout the season. Scan the QR code or text Cubs U to 88019 to unlock tickets at student-friendly prices. Those students seem to be having a lot of fun. So it's the outside corner for a strike. Count on 1-1. Luis Verdugo singled and scored in the 5th. Pops that one up foul and out of play. Well, you get out of school, it's the summer, and there doesn't sound, or nothing's really better than going to Wrigley Field in the summer, sitting in the bleachers and just having a grand old time. Pitch misses outside, count 1-2. And I think the listeners know this. I didn't grow up in Chicago, and the first game I ever went to at Wrigley Field was the summer after my freshman year of college. And I flew to Chicago to visit some friends. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a miss, strike 3. We were supposed to go to 1 game and ended up going to all 3 that series. That's the end of this set story.
That's about all you can tell us about that weekend.
Exactly. We'll go to the 7th. It is 7-5. Cubs are watching.
That's great.
It'll be fun. Nicely done, Elise. Alex Cohen, Elise Menaker. Here to start off the 7th inning. 7-5 Cubs. Michael McAveen, new pitcher here for the Cubs against Adam Hackenberg. First pitch. And this is outside, count 1-0. McAveen, 3rd round pick, 2019, out of Louisville. 21 games in the minors last year, 39 Ks and 31 in the 3rd innings. Pitch misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Bailey Horn, 2 innings, scoreless. He's stuck out today.
Absolutely.
2-0. The foul out of play. Out 2-1. Have some defensive substitutions. Nelson Maldonado into play first for the Cubs. Strump, Vasquez up the middle. Luis Verdugo still at 3rd, and the prospect late in outfield remains. Pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. That would be Owen Casey in left, Pete Crow Armstrong in center, and Kevin Alcantara in right. 3-1. Sprayed foul right side, out of play, count 3-2. And I already made my case for Owen Casey being the Cubs minor league player of the year in 2023. That's my guess, my prediction. I'll stand on it. I'll write it down. You can.
Oh, I didn't know if you were now going to be like, so what's yours? Is that?
No, I will. I'll ask, but you looked at me like, really? You're doubling down.
No, I was waiting for
Okay,
that.
who's yours? Who's yours now? I'll get Lance's later.
Oh, you didn't want mine? I feel like I got to go with PCA this year. Just because last year was in the running, seems like a very consistent player. We've seen glimpses this spring.
Great pitch by McAveen.
Nice pitch.
Strikes out Hackenberg. Bring up Ryan Burroughs, and we talk about all these young prospects, but we saw something pretty cool yesterday, Elise.
Yeah, I mean, this was quite a moment here. So that's Hunter Pence. But Sergio Romo got to retire a Giant, and this is the moment that he's taken out of the game, just gets to enjoy it with the crowd and the audience. And what was kind of funny is that going into that when he pitched that inning, he actually got 2 violations. One, because it took him too long to warm up, and the second just because the applause, just everything going on, that he didn't pitch in time. So got a little taste of the modern baseball before.
Well, you got two sides of the spectrum. We're talking about all these prospects, and then you have Sergio Romo, who spent the better part of 2 decades in baseball without even throwing a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. What a career.
It was a really cool moment.
It's floated into left field. Owen Casey in, covering ground. He makes the catch. Nice play by Owen. 2 away. Sergio Romo maximized his potential in a grade A walk-up song. Look up Sergio Romo walkout song. It's tremendous. Got the crowd going. Here's Jordan Sprinkle, top 30 prospect in the White Sox system. First pitch. Outside corner called strike. Count 1-1. Love the name Jordan Sprinkle.
I was just going to say, we have Hackenberg, Sprinkle.
They all sound like aliases. Oh, one misses up high.
When you're checking into the hotel.
Yeah. I mean, at least you're such a celebrity. You're a Hall
Jordan
of Famer.
Sprinkle.
Yeah. It'd be a Rachel Sprinkle would be your name or something. Lawrence Sprinkle. Incognito. 1-1.
Well, now I can't use it, so thanks.
Blew your cover. Popped up, shallow right, long run. Kevin Alcantara makes the catch and ends the inning. Nicely done, Michael McAveen. 1, 2, 3, 7th. Let's stretch. Bottom of the 7th we go. Cubs 7, White Sox 5.
And then breaking it, I think it was even a few days later.
Aliendo lines one to left field. And it goes over the head. One hops against the wall. A knuckling line drive by Paulo Aliendo. Leadoff double here in the 7th. And it's just it's a tough feeling for the outfield.
It sounded good off the bat of Aliendo, but like you said, kind of a little bit of a knuckler, and then just misplays it. Out in left, just right over the head. You never know with the sky, the sun, there's absolutely, I mean, maybe some wifty, is that a word, wifty clouds?
Yeah.
But no clouds.
I think that's a meteorology term right there. PCA lines that one. Third base side foul. That's Chris Shaw in left field. Former first baseman, DH in the Giants organization. Pete Crow Armstrong. Been on base twice today. Single hit by pitch, run score. That's a chopper towards second. Throw to first, and it gets
speed.
PCA. Aliendo to third. To bring up Kevin Alcantara. Yeah, I would have liked to have the watch there. His time from home to first.
Because honestly, on a play like that, you're thinking, because then at second baseman, sometimes they can look over. You know, you don't know. You force those bad throws. Just seems easy, but when someone's got speed like that.
Here's Kevin Alcantara. Infield plays in. Pitch taken down the middle for a strike. Count on 1-1. And I know that at this point there's a lot of minor leaguers in the game. Probably all minor leaguers. But with this crowd, last game, spring training, you can't replace the atmosphere. Alcantara high chopper. It's into left field for a base hit. Aliendo scores. Kevin Alcantara, second-ranked prospect in the Cubs system. RBI single here in the 7th. It's 8-5 Cubs.
Kind of muscles that ground ball over the infield. Alcantara, look, he's got a good bat. He's got good power. This one just out in front, but just enough. Kind of buries it.
Insurance runs are brought to you by Gallagher, helping you face your future with confidence. And it's the outside corner for a strike. Count on 1-1. I mean, this is a great day. Pete Crow Armstrong's been on base twice. Kevin Alcantara an RBI single. Owen Casey a 2-run single. You're a Cubs fan. You like the system. You like the way they're trending. This is the game to watch. Down 5-2. Now lead 8-5. And the guys that you want to factor into the Cubs equation for the next decade or two are paying dividends in this game.
And it gets a good starting pitcher for the White Sox, Kopech. You saw some good at bats.
I really like the 2-out single for PCA. I know that he looped it into left field, but a pitch in on his hands and is able to.
And like I said, for someone like him, if he can just get on base, there can be damage done then on the base pass with him.
Casey swings through a breaking ball. Count 1-2. We didn't get to this. All right, give me your Cubs minor league player there. Oh, you said
I
PC.
said PC. Yeah,
you said
Lance.
PC. Okay, so that's basically picking a March Madness bracket and picking all #1 seeds.
Yeah, I really went on a limb there and really gave you an under the radar pick.
1-2. This is inside. Count 2-2. All right, Lance, go out on a limb for us here. Who do you got?
For minor league player of the year, I'm going to go with Kevin Alcantara. I think the key thing for me there is that the weight gain and some of the batted ball data that has been suggested to me throughout some of the hitting coaches in the organization is really, really strong. And on the backfields, especially outside of Major League Spring Training games, he's been hitting absolute tanks. So I think we're going to see that pay off at South Bend this year. Pitcher side, I'm going to go Daniel Palencia. Throws really hard. He should be up. Maybe repeats South Bend, maybe jumps up to AA. I have him as like a sneaky guy that I think is going to break out.
So we went with 1, 2, and 13th ranked prospects.
I mean, that's cool. You guys basically picked like the Chiefs and the Eagles to make the Super Bowl. Like those are your predictions.
Yeah.
All right, go.
We were right? Chiefs and Eagles have it.
Go pick Duke and North Carolina to make the next, Final Four. Fine, guys. No, those are good. Owen Casey grounds that sharply to first. They get one, throw to second. It's a double play. Oh, you feel bad for Owen Casey there. A hard hit ball, but it goes in the scorebook as a double play. Cubs lead 8-5. We'll go to the 8th. We have Cubs baseball right here on Marquee Sports Network. Seen some nice relief pitching here from the Cubs. Michael McAveen with a scoreless inning. Bailey Horn 2 scoreless, and Hunter Biggie 41 games, 53 innings last year, 70 Ks, 38 walks. Biggie delivers. Sapai, count 1-0. Great last name.
A lot of great last names in this game. Sprinkle, Biggie, Hackenberg.
Line to center, Pete Crow Armstrong, and he just misses a web gem. He'll fire to second. What a recovery for Pete Crow Armstrong. That is why he profiles as a Gold Glove caliber defender. Almost makes a sensational catch, and he countered with an even better throw.
Yeah, I don't know what's better about this one. The range, the dive, or how heads up he is to know to make the throw after it bounces out of his glove. I love that part of it. That there's no time to think, I didn't get it, shoot. He bounces up, knows that runner's going to go 2, fires it into second. A great throw.
That's a nice 97-mile-per-hour two-seamer to the bag.
You just like all of it.
He's so much fun. That was so much fun.
And that is why he's my prediction for your minor league player of the year. One of the reasons, because he's also getting it done with the bat too. He is probably one of the best catches of spring.
Oh, the one on the center field warning track? Well, I mean, there's a couple things to that play. One, his ability just to get to that ball. Not many people could.
His
ball hits off his
ranges.
glove. And then you talked about the presence of mind to pick up the baseball and just fire a dart to second.
Because also that takes experience. I mean, he's done it enough, played enough, plays hard enough to know that it's just not, there's always something happening. So if you miss the ball, then the runner's still going. You make that catch, get it in, or whatever it is.
Pitch to Shaw. This is inside. Chris Shaw drives a walk. Man, that was impressive. And I know that he didn't make the catch, and he's probably frustrated about that. But it's just the athleticism, it's the throw, and we talked about this.
I love the recovery. I really do. To me, that speaks volumes. Like, that's a hard catch. But then to get up and to make that throw, that's what it's about.
Pitch to Mondu, misses up high, count 1-0.
Like, you need the out, like you want the out, right? So sometimes since I played infield, I think about it that way. You might bobble it, it might not be clean, but then if you can make the throw after, still get the out, you just kind of tell yourself, all right, next time let's clean that up, but you got the out. I mean, that's a play though. Like, there's nothing really to clean up. He went all out on it and just gets up and
no big deal.
The throw too, I mean, to make that accurate of a throw after a dive.
1-1 misses up high, count 2-1, and didn't even have to move the glove.
Right. I mean, you could launch that. I mean, you might have the wherewithal to throw it, but to have the accuracy of that throw. Great play.
2-1. It's up high, count 3-1. At least put a star next to that on the scorebook. I mean, you're looking at the possible outfield of the future for the Cubs with PCA in center, Casey in left, Alcantara in right, and not even talking about Brendan Davis, number 3 ranked prospect in the system. Pitch high to Nate Mondu, draws a walk. Kershaw on second, Mondu on first, and 1 away. This is a position finally of depth for the Cubs.
There's a lot of depth in the outfield, yeah, and good depth, where you feel hopeful, you like what you see so far, at the very least, from these players.
Ian Happ, Cody Bellinger, Seiya Suzuki, Brendan Davis, Darius Hill, Nelson Velasquez, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kevin Alcantara, Owen Casey.
Yeah,
I mean, that's 9, and you can only have 3 play at one time.
Oh.
Baseball 101 right there. You learn something new every day.
But what I will say is, like we're saying, the potential out here, right, on good paths, who we see out here now, Casey Alcantara, PCA. And then you mentioned who we've already seen, guys like Velasquez.
Brennan. Nelson, yeah, Darius Hill.
But up in the big leagues, yeah. Darius Hill, who we see in Iowa. That's a very contact bat when you want to know about the player.
He was second in minor league baseball in hits. I mean, there's just so much depth there. 1-1. Check swing, went around. It's a strike. Lance for more.
Did we mention Alexander Canario there?
Ooh, that's another good one.
That's one that I really like. He hits absolute tanks. Another guy that, obviously, I'm a data nerd, so I'm looking at his velocities. He's way up there, some of the hardest hit balls in the organization, and he's down with an injury right now. Hopefully we'll see him later this year, but he's another guy that I think is knocking on the door, especially being on the 40-man.
Was it 36?
37.
Yeah,
37
Mervis had 36.
Mervis at 36, right. Canario at 37 with 30 stolen base potential and a 350 on base.
Crazy.
Yeah, we just forgot about him. Appreciate it, Lance, for the pick-me-up. No, it was important.
It
we
is
talk
important.
about outfielders.
You seem mad, though, that you didn't think of it or something. But, yeah, it's a good call. Canario's another really good player.
Just
strong.
I just broke my pen over,
just
by the
threw
way.
it out the window, I saw, yeah.
Here's Taylor Snyder. Nice strikeout from Biggie, by the way. That misses outside. Count 1-0. And it really is. It's just such a position of depth.
And that kind of proved your point, too, when you talk about the depth, how then you can forget a good player, too, like Canario.
8-5, Cubs lead, top 8. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Biggie. We talked about it yesterday when the Cubs are making their final roster. I mean, they are sending players down or trading a Zach McKinstry, who are really talented. You have 26 guys on the roster. You have more than 26 big league caliber players. Swing and a miss.